And thank you everyone for coming out tonight. This is just the first of many discussions that we're going to be having as we approach what I've been calling Phase 2 of this event. As you know, historically in California, these brush fires are typically followed by mud flow when we get rain. So we're here tonight to encourage everyone that lives within the affected area to begin making preparations. Just as Wayne was out doing brush clearance and preparing his property, we all need to work now on preparing our property for the mud that may be coming down your way when it rains. There will be more information provided to you in the coming weeks. I would encourage you to keep an eye on the city's Channel 3, watch the city website, watch the local newspapers for information, and we will also be covering this same topic at the next Fire Safe Council meeting. What is the city doing at this point? At this point, I have walked the fire perimeter twice and begun compiling a list of potential problem areas. I've met with the staff of LA County Public Works, walked the fire perimeter with them. The LA County Public Works Department, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in a minute, is going to be working very closely with city staff and with our residents to bring everyone up to where they're prepared for what may be coming our way in the winter. I've arranged a meeting with the California Conservation Corps to review the burn area above Skyland and look at the bulkheads that were put up there in the 70s to hold back the hillside, to see if we can't reinforce those, clean them out, do some other things up there to protect the homes below. Again, we're trying to get prepared as best we can. I've met with the Forest Service, and I'm meeting with the Natural Resources Conservation Service this week to begin the planning process with those agencies. The Public Works Department is looking for volunteers. In the spirit of Sierra Madre volunteerism, you may have picked up that volunteer form that's on the back table. We're looking for some able-bodied folks that do not live within the affected area to sign up now to be of assistance when it comes time to start filling sandbags. When I first mentioned this to someone, they said, well, they were a little offended, I think, that we wanted people that lived outside the affected area. The reason for that is the people in the affected area are going to be needing to protect their own homes. We need volunteers that can leave their homes and come and help us. Again, I cannot stress enough the need to prepare yourselves, prepare your property for the coming rains. The city will do everything we can to assist. Mr. Chris Stone of LA County Public Works is here this evening to talk about the sort of things that the county will be able to do to assist not only the city but the residents. But again, please look very closely at your property. Expect LA County's Public Works staff to be coming around door to door, as I've seen them doing already, and giving each and every homeowner advice and support for preparing their properties. On the back table outside in the hallway, I've left a couple of resources for you. One is an extensive list of engineers. You can go through that list, pick whoever you want. The city does not make any recommendations. That list was Xeroxed out of a resource book that we have. Look for engineering firms that have the initial CI after them. Those are the people you want to talk to about protection of your property. I've also provided lists of potential sandbag and erosion control contractors for you. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Chris Stone of LA County Public Works to talk to you a little bit about how you can prepare your home and your property for your own safety.
And, thank you for inviting me here tonight. I am a Sierra Madre resident, by the way. I live off of Sierra Meadow, so I'm quite familiar with what happened and probably as concerned as all of you were during the fire. So, but you know, after fires, our department becomes extremely involved in how do we start getting people prepared for mud flows, and we do this every year. I thought it was kind of an interesting statistic the other day when I was digging around on how many fires does LA County experience wildfires in a given year. And I was shocked to find out that there's 26 wildfires in any given year in Los Angeles County. I had no idea that it was that high. Most of us only hear about the relatively large fires that occur and when people's homes and whatnot are threatened, but there's a lot of wildfires in LA County. And throughout history, you can see, just a progressive increase in the number of wildfires as there's more people in the area and more people up in the forest areas taking advantage of those resources up there. So, but with that, fire season again is here. Last year it started early for us. It started in May last year. As you may recall, Catalina Island was on fire in May last year. So that was our first fire last year of significance that we spent a lot of time on, and then there were several more after that. But what I'm here tonight to do is to work with this community, my community, in trying to get prepared for mud flows this winter. As Bruce had mentioned, we've had some engineers out walking the fire sites with him and looking to identify what we think are properties at risk, and what we're talking about primarily are houses and infrastructure at risk. So if you see people tromping around your land or up and down the streets, that's what they're out there for. If they're with our department, they will have a hard hat on. It'll be a white hard hat, and it'll say LA County Public Works on it. What we will be doing is formulating what our plans are going to be over the next week as we get more information on where the at-risk areas are. Once we've identified that, we're going to share that information with other agencies, including the city and other agencies that will help us prepare for the coming rainfall events. We will be going up and identifying houses that we think are at risk. We will be offering engineering advice to those houses. So we'll be knocking on your door. We'll be coming up and saying, we think you have a problem that you ought to take a close look at. With that, we typically hand out a homeowner's guide, and you can get a copy of this in the back, and if there aren't enough copies, I'll bring more later, or you can get them from our website, which is also listed on one of the handouts in the back there that you might pick up with you. It's called Frequently Asked Questions on Post-Fire Flooding and Debris Flows.